Good morning. People are already very efficient. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Friday. Just checking the weather. It's not raining. Shh. Don't jinx it. It's not raining yet. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Karen. Yep, we are. Gosh, hurtling towards the end of February. Good morning, Ruby. It's mad how quickly the time's going. How is everyone today? It's been a busy week. Busy week here, as always. As always. And oh, hello. There's a dog. Oh, and a biscuit. Nice. And a cup.
The hand.
The hand that brings mint tea.
The hand says, hello.
Oh, peppermint and licorice.
Peppermint
Nice.
licorice, yeah. That cup's 7 years today we bought that.
7 years old, is it?
Yeah.
It's vintage now.
It is. Much like me.
Good boy. Good boy. Yes. That was a nice treat, wasn't it? It's a nice surprise. Even if he does need a BATH. Good morning, Monique. Good morning, Luna. Good morning, Claire. Good morning. Good morning. So, good morning, Deb. Today's theme, Kitchen Witchcraft. I realised that I don't think I've talked particularly about it on a Friday morning, and it is what I do and who I am. So, today's theme, Kitchen Witchcraft. Do you work with Kitchen Witchcraft? How do you work with Kitchen Witchcraft? Don't you work with it, and why don't you work with it? Is there a reason that you'd like to do it but you don't? What sort of kitchen witchcraft do you work with? Are there things that you do particularly magical things connected with food? That's the theme for today. What have we got coming up tomorrow? Tomorrow evening, which is the 21st of February, we have an open to all free online event. Myself, Ness and Heather running a Brigantia ritual. Details are on the Kitchen Witchcraft Facebook page. Do join us tomorrow. It's going to be fun, as always. We've got a few rituals running throughout the year, open to everyone. We also have a lithomancy workshop next month, 2-hour workshop. Details of that on the online shop. The exciting news is that behind the scenes, Heather has been designing her own OM card deck. She's been in cahoots with Pete behind the scenes, creating her own deck. So they are available for pre-order now over on the Kitchen Witch online shop. So lots of stuff going on. If you are a student of the school, have a look on the groups forum and on the student Facebook group, because we've got some student-only online events coming up as well. They are public announcements. Good morning, Sue, from a not-so-sunny Sunderland. No, it's grey here, but I'm thankful it's just not raining. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Lucky Fairy. Excited for tomorrow. Yes, Brigantia is a fascinating goddess. So, yes, should be a good ritual tomorrow. Details for that is 6 p.m. UK time tomorrow. Good morning, Nicola. We also have the Wild Witchcraft Conference in Horndine in Hampshire, Saturday, 26th of March. Myself, Ness and Heather will be there. I will be giving a talk along with some other fabulous folk. We'll have our books and our cards there to sell as well. So yeah, lots happening. That Wild Witchcraft Conference is the only one that we're doing in person this year. The rest is all online. So you might see us wandering around aimlessly at various places, but that's the only event we are doing. Good morning, Amanda. Jane, actually sunny in beautiful downtown Romford. Is it like the most days of rain ever or something ridiculous? Good morning, Cliff. Notice it's a lot milder this morning whilst walking the dogs in Wickham. Only 1 month until Ostara. Yes, yesterday was cold, but yeah, Spring is stirring, isn't it? It is stirring. Lucky Fairy. Haven't worked with Brigantia before. Excited to learn about her and the ritual. Going to do some reading tonight. She is. There are lots of connections with Bridget. Supposedly with Bridget, depends what you believe, how you think about it. Yeah, she's an interesting. She is one of the ancient English ones, or traces of her are. So it is. It is interesting. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Sue. Looking forward to tomorrow. Living in the northeast of England, our coven was called Heart of Brigantia. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting to work with. Our rituals throughout this year will be based on more unusual goddesses. Jane, not just magical food in my kitchen, it's where I make lotions and potions too. Yes, definitely. Well, I don't. I leave that to Heather and Ness to make those. But yes, definite kitchen witchery for sure. Good morning, Holly. Christine, sunny in North Dorset. Not holding my breath, it will last. No. Patio was dry this morning. I was in shock. So much rain this year. Yeah. And unfortunately, our roof's leaking. So we're praying every day it doesn't rain. Yeah, not fun. Not fun. The roof's leaking into this newly decorated room. Yeah. Not impressed. Not anyone's fault. It's just, it's an old house. But going to get that fixed. Oh, the speech left. The speech has left the building. Right, let's wrap you up. There we are. Dog's happy. Okay, so Kitchen Witchcraft. It is my pathway. It is. Is it a fairly new term? I think it is. I think whilst a lot of the Kitchen Witchcraft practices are ancient, the cunning folk would have worked with herbs and spices and whatever they had in the cupboards. They would have cooked things over a fire in a big old cauldron-shaped pot, but they wouldn't have called themselves kitchen witches. So I think that kind of label is more modern. For me, it describes a few kind of areas. Working with magical food, obviously, primary, but working as well with herbs, with plants. It kind of crosses over for me into gardening and connecting, obviously the energy, connecting with all of the ingredients. But I think as well it's about using what you've got to hand. It's very eco-friendly because you recycle, you reuse. But I think it's also about what have I got? I need to make a spell. Empty your handbag. What have you got in there? For me, that's kitchen witchcraft as well. It is using whatever you can lay your hands on, rather than being ceremonial or having specific tools for specific magical purpose. It is about using what you've got to hand. It is about using a casserole dish instead of a cauldron, or a wooden spoon instead of a wand. For me, that's kitchen witchcraft as well. I think it's also about the kitchen's often the heart and hearth of the home. It is where people tend to congregate. It is where I spend a lot of my time. It is where I work my magic. It is where we create all of the kitchen witch hoards and things that we make are all done in my kitchen. So it is a hub kind of for the family. So I think that's important as well. But it's about chaos and throwing stuff together. It is not ceremonial by any stretch of the imagination. But for the heart of it, definitely working magic with food. But it is that kind of folk magic. Let's just, throw stuff together. But it's also how you cook with things as well. It is stirring your coffee clockwise to bring in positive energy. It is releasing when you're washing the dirt off of the carrots, that kind of thing. But it's also about saving things for magical purpose. So peeling the carrots and saving the peel, drying it and saving it for magic, eating peanuts and saving the shells to use for magic. That kind of connection as well for me. Lots of kind of different areas of it come together, I think. Good morning, Thea. Just want to say thank you again for last night. We enjoyed your visit. That's why the subject is this morning. Last night I was very honoured to give a talk about kitchen witchcraft for the Embracing Magic Coven, which inspired today's talk. So Thea, you might hear some stuff you heard last night. Let's get some of these up. Jane, I tend to associate food with shopping and putting everything away rather than with magic. Okay, it's such a chore. Any suggestions for bringing magic into the humdrum side of things? For me, every single ingredient that you buy, that you use, that you cook with, has magic. I think when we work with a spell, we often go to our magical herbs cupboard. Or I'll take mugwort and I'll take blackthorns and put them. Your kitchen cupboards are full of magical ingredients as well. Your jar of jam, your bag of flour, your carrots, your potatoes, they all have the same magical energy that the mugwort has, that the blackthorn has. So it's about connecting with those energies of things. So when you are putting everything away, try connecting with the energy of it to see what magic it can help you with. Whether it is bag of flour, bag of dried pasta, they've all got magical purpose. Connect with the energy as you put them away and see what they can help you with. Because it's all there. It's just about connecting with it. Does everybody use a cauldron or do you use a casserole dish? Does everybody use athames, chalices? I used to when I was studying and working with the Wiccan pathway. I still got my athame from that. I had all of the fancy layout. Don't use it very much anymore. But if I need a chalice, I'll just take a glass from the kitchen cupboard. If I need an athame, I'll just use the vegetable knife. Now, I know there's this thing that your athame is a magical tool. Athames aren't sharp. They are always blunt because they are ceremonial. They are for directing energy. They are for cutting doorways in the circle that you've cast. I don't work like that. If I've cast a circle, my circle is flexible. So if I have forgotten something, my circle moves with me. So when I go and get it, I don't have to cut a hole in the door. So I don't really work with an athame from that point of view. But if I needed one, vegetable peeler, vegetable knife that's what I would use. Chalice is useful if you've got liquid offerings or liquid that you're going to use in ritual. But we did find when we did the open rituals, we used to have one big chalice and we would pass it around and everyone would take a sip. May you never thirst. But slightly unhygienic. We started using little shot glasses. They were plastic shot glasses, but we washed them each time and reused them so that everybody had their own little shot glass of whatever it was, not usually wine. It was us. It was usually herbal tea or hot chocolate. So that we didn't. We stopped using the chalice for that as well. Definitely not ceremonial, although I do like a good ritual with a bit of ceremony to it. Steve. When doing kitchen magic with food, is it best to use organic food or processed food, bearing in mind cost of living? Good question. So live within your means is my answer. Organic food can be very expensive. I think it's about living within your means. It's about living within your budget, but it's also about using everything. It doesn't matter where you buy it from. Farmers markets, Lidl's, doesn't matter. Everything has an energy to it. Now, the supermarket food might have been on a bit more of a journey, but you can cleanse that. We all know how to cleanse stuff. Incense smoke, bit of salt water, whatever it might be. But all of those ingredients will still have magical properties. Whenever I buy spices or seasonings, I get them from a supermarket. We've got an international supermarket here, which is brilliant. So I buy them from there. They're not necessarily organic. They've all got magical energy. In an ideal world, we could all afford to buy organic food. And in fact, there probably would only be organic food, which would be lovely. But it doesn't happen like that. There are also people that hate cooking or don't have time to cook, so use ready meals. You can still work with the magical energy of that. You can still work with the energy if you're just popping a sealed thing in the microwave waiting for it to ping. Those ingredients, even if they are processed, still have a base of energy to them. So you can still work with that. So yes, absolutely work within your budget, but think about things like, and I talked a lot about this last night, you buy a bag of flour, use the flour in your cooking, in your baking, save the packet when it's empty. It's paper. It's biodegradable and it makes a brilliant spell pouch for burying a spell. Your tins, tin of beans, tin of tomatoes, tin of whatever it might be, spam. Use that tin for a spell container, a spell jar. Jam jars, honey jars, pickle jars. Use those for magical purpose afterwards. Cereal boxes, cocoa powder boxes. All of the containers that your food come in can be used, recycled almost, as spell containers because they carry the energy of the ingredient that was inside them. And it also means that you are recycling and reusing. But it doesn't matter, Steve. Honestly, doesn't matter. Everything has magical energy. If you bought it from a supermarket and it feels a bit off, just cleanse it. A lot of the little Aldi type supermarkets, a lot of their produce it's won awards and things. It's brilliant quality. But yeah, just if it feels a bit hinky, cleanse it. But yeah, you don't have to spend a fortune, not at all. Good morning, Louise. Jane. Oh dear, my Athame is a real dag. It's very sharp. Touch wood has never caused any harm. Be careful. Yeah, traditionally Athames are ceremonial, so their blades are blunted. But this is the thing. You use whatever feels right for you. Use whatever comes to you, whatever finds its way to you. Yeah, just be very careful if it is a real one. I cast a circle once at an open ritual with a sword. Goodness me, are they heavy? How anybody actually fought a battle with them, I have no idea. No idea at all. Lucky Fairy. Ooh, this circle moving with me thing is so right. But when it happened for the first time, when I forgot something outside my circle, I had to debate with myself on what my circle means to me. Well, that's a good thing, good question too. And actually one of our lovely students came up with a good idea. She was sitting in a square living room and had been asked to cast a circle in a square. So what she actually did was cast a square. Perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. So if you want to cast a square to encircle your entire room, then do that. If you want to cast a circle that's as big as your house, do that. But what I tend to do is I don't actually cast a circle very often if I'm indoors working a spell. I don't cast circles when I'm working spells because my house is so used to my magic. It's pretty much all protected anyway. But if I am casting a circle, I make it flexible so that it moves with me, so that I don't have to be cutting any doors or anything like that. But it has to work for you. Emma, when I was able, I'd be in the kitchen all the time. Food for prepping is now brought into the living room for me to prep instead. Had a particular vegetable knife I'd like to use for magical work. I think if it feels right, do it, absolutely. And vegetable knives make brilliant magical tools. When thinking back to Wicca, there was always also this thing that you couldn't use your magical tools for anything mundane either. If that's how you work, then go for it. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me at all. And it was also about having the particular knife for cutting herbs and things. I use the secateurs. It's much easier. Yeah, it has to work for you. It does have to work for you. And just because if you don't prep food in the kitchen, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what room you're in. If you're prepping food, you're doing kitchen work, really, aren't you? I guess. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony. Rainy, yeah, it's rain. Definitely rain. Lucky Fairy, like I read about your circle being something tight and protective. Back then I was scared about negative energy entering and stuff too. Confusing times. There's a bit of a misunderstanding, I think, about the idea of a circle. The circle works for two reasons. So you cast your circle as protection. I don't think it needs to be tight. I think that would be very, very restrictive. You cast your circle around your area to protect you. If you are working magic, you're kind of shining a beacon of light saying, hey, we're doing stuff. So you don't want any negative energies coming in. But that's kind of secondary because you're also casting your circle to keep the energy in that you're creating. That circle is there as well. Three things, actually. Your circle is there, and perhaps this third thing is the most important. Your circle creates a sacred space. You're casting a circle to create that sacred magical space. You're saying, okay, that's a boundary. Now I'm in my magical space. This is my sacred magical space. I am between the worlds. So yeah, that's probably the most important reason for casting a circle, is that you are creating sacred space. So yeah, it's kind of multi-purpose, really. Out to the next one. One of the things I like to do is create a recipe that's been passed down to me, especially from someone that's passed away. It brings back the memory of that person and a lovely memory. Food it opens the senses because you have touch, you have smell, you have memories, you have taste, you have all sorts of your senses going on. I like vintage cookbooks. I like the old. Some of the recipes are just hilarious if they're really old. But I love going back through old recipes. One of the books that I use a lot is a very, very old cookbook that my grandmother gave me. So yeah, nice memories. Yeah, you have favourite meals too, don't you? Remember, there's a pasta dish I make that my mum used to make when we were kids. Yeah, it kind of follows through, doesn't it? Louise, I use pestle and mortar and dried herb spices. It's the combination for me. I like incense while I'm doing small rituals. I look for 2-for-1 deals as well. I use lemon salt. That's nice and inexpensive. Pestle and mortar, brilliant. I have 2 pestle and mortars. I have one for the kitchen for cooking. I have one for magical purpose. You do not want to be cross-contaminating. You don't want to be crushing mistletoe in a pestle and mortar that you then go and make a pesto in, because you'll end up killing people. Don't. Herbs and spices, brilliant. But think as well further than that. Think about working magic with broccoli. I'm looking at the pictures on the screen. Broccoli, rice, carrots, tomatoes. They've all got magical properties. Lemon salt sounds lovely. I've mentioned salt before. Salt is salt is salt. You don't need to buy the really expensive pink collected from the Himalayas expensive salt. Table salt has exactly the same magical properties as the expensive stuff. I buy table salt and that's what I use. So yeah, but yeah, don't spend lots of money. Maria, just reused a jar that has chocolate and hazelnut remnants still in it for a spell. Perfect. Chocolate, good for happiness, good for positive energy, good for boosting, good for grounding. Hazelnuts, nice. Nuts to me are always prosperity, abundance, wealth. But it's what it means to you. But brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is perfect for me. That's Kitchen Witch in a jar. Amanda, Aldi sell a potted basil for less than £2 and it grew big in a pot in the garden. Just bought another last week to keep in the kitchen. Brilliant. A lot of the supermarkets sell the potted herbs, don't they? And if you're clever with them, they keep going for ages. Monique, we have 2 swords which we use for our hand fasting. We placed our rings on top, crossed them over so we'd take the rings off and place them on a finger. Agree they were heavy. That's a fab idea. I do love a sword. My son has a sword collection. Fantastic things. But yeah, nice for hand fasting. Thank you, Emma. That was the word I was trying to think of. Bowline. Yeah, that's the curved one. It's the one that you see Get a Fix the Druid carrying. It is for cutting herbs, but I find a secateur much easier to use. Lucky Fairy, thanks for this. Love this new perspective on the circle. It is what it is. I think, is there trends maybe? Was there this thing when I started learning the circle it was pounded into me that the circle was there to protect me from outside energies. But it is so much more than that. So much more than that. And there's lots of different ways to cast your circle too. And if you're thinking kitchen witchcraft, you could even cast it with salt, ring of salt, just not outside because salt really damages the soil. Inside you could use salt. You could also use crushed eggshell, would work quite nicely. Cornmeal works brilliantly. And actually all those things work for drawing sigils on the floor as well. Particularly something like cornmeal or crushed eggshell would work really nicely drawing sigils or symbols outside. But it is about connecting, and it is about expanding past spices and herbs that we traditionally associate with witchcraft. And I do use all of those. I do. Cinnamon is one of my absolute favourites. Go to rosemary, thyme, basil, mint. All of those I use. I've got my mint, peppermint, and licorice tea, which is probably the only herbal tea I really like. Any other herbal teas that I've tried and don't like, I save the tea bags and they go in my floor wash because they've all got magical energies to them. Think about it. Think about everything you drink. It's morning, you're probably having coffee and tea. Coffee and tea has magical energy because it's an ingredient, so it has magical energy to it. Coffee is a really good boost. It's boost of energy. It's really good for focus. Tea is good for psychic energies as well, but it's good for communication. Peppermint tea in particular is really good for communication. Got 2 people that aren't really talking to each other, give them a cup of peppermint tea with a bit of honey in it, to sweeten the mood, and you bring that magic to it. I guess we're all probably used to cooking food for family, friends, that kind of thing. Think about the ingredients. Think about the energy that you're putting into it. But it is, again, looking at tomatoes. Tomatoes really good for love. They are the love apple. But everything. Carrots are really good for clarity, for masculine energy, for grounding. Anything that grows in the ground, potatoes, carrots, parsnips, anything that's grown in that soil has a really strong grounding energy to it. Keep the peelings, dry the peelings. Carrots, potatoes, oranges, apples, dry the peel and use that for magical purpose. They go really well in incense blends, but just pop them into spell pouches and witch bottles as well. Jane, best way to grow the supermarket's potted herbs, take them out of the pot and unravel them into a strip, then plant them a lot more spaced out in a much bigger pot. If they're grown outside, you get more harvest seeds of them if they run their course. Brilliant. I've struggled with basil because it doesn't really like a climate unless it's very warm. So I do tend to keep basil outside. But yes, supermarket potted herbs, cheap and cheerful, but with a little bit of care and attention, they last for ages and you can get much more out of them. Nicola, chocolate coin wrappers. Yes, chocolate coin wrappers and the foil from chocolate. Brilliant to use in magical mixed media creations. Also adding dried pressed herbs adds magic to your creations. Great way to recycle too. Chocolate coin wrappers, foil from your chocolate bar wrappers. Brilliant for working magic with. If you've got a big bar of chocolate, and why wouldn't you have a big bar of chocolate, unwrap the wrapper, use it as a spell pouch. You can write your petition on the inside of it. You can fill it with different ingredients, wrap it up and burn it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it carries the magic of the chocolate with it as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's about thinking a bit outside of the box and thinking about what those things are connected with. Wrappers of all sorts, crisp bags as well. Who remembers, I can show my age now, who remembers putting a crisp bag in a low oven so that it shrunk and you ended up with a little tiny crisp bag? Don't do that at home. But crisp bags as well, they work particularly well. They are bags ready to have spells put in them. Most of them already have salt in, so they've already got a layer of protection inside them. They've had potato crisps inside. They will have a grounding energy as well. Seal them up, burn them. Only bury them if they are paper and not the plasticky, foily ones. But yeah, it's just about thinking a little bit differently about everything that you handle in your kitchen. Before you throw away that wrapper, before you throw away that tin can or that packet, think about whether it has a magical use. Emma, when I first started calling in the quarters, I'd always see a square inside a circle. No idea why, but when I cast a circle, I see that square first. Well, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You're calling in 4 quarters, so you've got 4 corners. That makes perfect sense to me, definitely. Maria. Tea and coffee magically wakes me up. I don't actually like normal tea. I don't like normal coffee. I like coffee if it's got loads of caramel syrup in it. But it's a magical ingredient. And I quite often will add a pinch of instant coffee to a spell to give it a boost, to give it a bit of focus, to give it a boost of energy. The same with tea. I quite often, I've got a few tea bags in my magical cupboard because I quite often open one up and use the tea for magical purpose. It's kind of a double whammy because you can eat the food to get the magical energy from it, but a lot of the foods you can also use for magic. Nuts, fruits, eat the fruit, eat the nut, save the shells, save the stones, save the pips. My magical cupboard has a box with apple pips in it, dried apple pips in it. It has peach stones and plum stones that I ate the fruit. Well, actually, I made them into crumbles generally, but wash the stones, dry them, and then you can use them for magical purpose. They carry the same energy as the fruit. Garlic, use the papery outside and eat the garlic bulbs. That papery outside of the garlic, you'd normally just throw it away. Use it for magical purpose. It works brilliantly in spells, much better than the garlic cloves, because the garlic cloves will eventually go off. It's thinking about, I've bought this from the shop, how does it work? Everything in your fridge, cheese, milk, butter, all has a base of milk in it. And milk is a very, very nurturing, feminine energy, goddess type energy. And obviously the fairy world like a bit of butter, they like a bit of milk. I think any of the Irish deities actually do like a bit of butter and milk as an offering. When you're offering fresh things like that, I know some of the more battle type goddesses do like a bit of raw meat as well. When you're offering food like that, or even offering a part of your dinner, so if you've cooked a cottage pie, I'm not giving up my cottage pie for anyone because that's my favourite, but actually that's the point, is that an offering is supposed to be a sacrifice. The offerings that we make are the modern version of a sacrifice. So it has to mean something to you. So for me to give up a spoonful of my cottage pie to a deity would be a sacrifice, let me tell you. But if you are going to give offerings of fresh food like that, don't leave it on your altar very long, probably 24 hours at the most, and then get rid of it. Offer it to the ground, put it in the compost, put it in the trash, whatever, because it will go icky and attract yucky things. It is that 24 hours is fine. Obviously, other things, dried herbs, fruits, they can last longer on there. But it is supposed to be a sacrifice. So if you are giving up a small portion of your dinner every day, that actually is quite a good offering. Just don't leave it there for very long. But it is that hope as well. Jalal accepts Stilton, which has obviously demon milk in it. I don't actually like Stilton, I must admit. I love cheese. I don't like Stilton very much. But it is thinking about it again, because the different cheeses, if you have got cheddar, it's going to have cow's milk in it. So it's going to have the energy that the cow brings. If you have feta, it's going to have sheep's milk in it. So it's going to bring the energy of the sheep with it. So think about that. If you have mozzarella, proper mozzarella, it's going to come from the buffalo. So it's going to have different. Actually, our European supermarket the other day had camel milk in it. I don't even know what to do with it. But it is going to bring that different energy. If you don't eat dairy, then your almond milk, your oat milk, your coconut milk, they're all going to have different energies that come with it as well. It'll be the base ingredient that they're made of. You might want to check if you work with the fairy, which milk they prefer. They might be a bit shocked by a bit of coconut milk. But think about those energies, because all of those different things are going to make a difference to the energy of it. Now, Steve mentioned earlier about working within your budget. I also think it's important to work seasonally, and that actually affects your budget as well. If you are eating seasonal produce, you are connecting with the energy of Mother Earth. If you are eating seasonal produce, you are connecting with the energy that's around you right now, that Mother Earth is providing for you. If you're buying strawberries in December, they have been shipped from the other side of the world. So not only are they going to taste of nothing, because they too long in transit and haven't grown in the right conditions, they've been forced, basically. There's also the eco problem with it, that they have been flown or shipped across. So there's all of that travel involved that is no good for the planet. And they're also going to be more expensive. So there's a lot of reasons to eat seasonally. If you're buying produce that is in season now, it is going to be cheaper. Some of the supermarkets are pretty good with it, but if you can find a local international supermarket, they are brilliant. Their prices are cheaper and their produce is usually really good. But think about what's in season as well, because that is going to make a difference to the taste, but also your pocket. But it's also going to bring you more in line with the seasons and what's happening with Mother Nature. If it's growing and in season now, it's going to have a stronger energy as well to it. It's just something worth thinking about. Lucky Fairy. The herb that I use the most must be ginger in my tea. Love it. Usually ask it for protection and good health. Ginger's brilliant, but it is a fiery ingredient. So ginger, particularly powdered ginger, ground ginger, really good to give a pinch to a spell, to give it a boost of energy, to get it working. It's a kick up the butt ingredient. Anything that's hot and fiery, like ginger, cinnamon, mustard, pepper, chilies, pinch of that in a spell will make it work faster. It will give it a boost of energy. But ginger, brilliant ingredient for all sorts of reasons. Maria, the seeds are most probably more powerful than the fruit, as they're the heart of the fruit. Nice way of thinking. Yes, because they are the storehouse of the fruit, aren't they? They are the new fruit waiting to begin. Yeah, I like that idea. Christine, I leave coconut milk out. I hope the fairies don't hate me. I like coconut milk. I make my lattes with coconut milk because I do like it. I think for me, it'd be checking in with the fairies. English fairies probably never met a coconut before. But they might find it beautifully exotic and love it. So if if nothing's gone missing in your house or nothing's fallen over, then you can probably assume they're okay with it. That's another good thing. For me, it is, if you do work with deity, or I don't work with fairy as a rule, I think that is a big commitment that requires a lot of thought and care, and because they are tricky beings, and I think that etiquette needs learning. And yeah, it's never come across really for me to work with them very much, but I do work with deity a lot, and I find that each deity has their own peculiarities. Each deity has their own things that they like, and what I try to do when I find a new deity or I start working with a new deity is to research their culture, to research the land that they came from, but to research their cuisine. That for me is really important. It helps me understand that deity. When I started working with Ganesha, I did a lot of research because it was way outside of my wheelhouse. But one of the things I did look at, obviously, was all the food, because I do love a good curry. So a lot of my offerings to Ganesha, Ganesha are sweets, because he likes sweet things. He likes chocolate, but he much prefers something that's more in keeping. So gulab jamun, or something that is more in keeping with his culture. So I quite often make offerings of nutmeg, of star anise, cloves, ginger. When I'm making incense for him, it has all of those cardamom, it has all of those things in it as well. So when I am working with those deities, I do try and think about what they would have eaten, what the food is from their culture, and that goes for all kinds of offerings. I work with the Kalech, have done for years. She does like oats. She loves a boiled sweet because she's a little old lady. Little old ladies always love boiled sweets. But she does love bannock cakes because they are Scottish and that's her roots. When I work with Sulis is a bit of an interesting one. She likes Roman type foods. She likes grapes because the Romans built her a temple and she really appreciates that. But she's much, much older than that. So she does like basics as well. She asked me once for leeks, which was very random, but that's what she wanted as an offering. So check with your deities first about what foods they'd like as offering. But I really think it helps to learn about them and how they work in their culture by learning about the foods from that country. That for me is quite a big connection. Just a random thought there, because we have lots of random thoughts. Louise, I've grown an avocado plant from avocado stones. Nice, that I saved from an avocado a friend bought me. So that plant I associate with my friend. Nice. Look outside at pine needles, dandelions, etc. All of it has magical purpose. Everything. That's nice. I've dried avocado skin. I've dried pomegranate skin as well to use for magical purpose. That works quite well. Both of those work quite well. Yeah, I like that idea. That's nice. And we've got an allotment. That's a lot of work. Had one back in the day. So I use what we can out of there. Had variable success, but it's good when you get anything to harvest. Can put intention into your food from seed to eating it. Yes, you're following it right through, aren't you? So yeah, that's a nice way of doing it, but there's a lot of work. A lot of work. Good on you. Good on you. Let's not forget that it's not just cost, it's what you can physically tolerate. Of course, free from food costs the earth, doesn't it? But it's one of the only things I can eat apart from fresh. Is anyone the same out there? Now, I've done a lot of experimentation with vegan baking. I actually love making vegan cakes because quite often I'll think, make some cookies or make a cake, and I've forgotten to take the butter out the fridge and it's rock hard. So I just make vegan cookies or a vegan cake instead, because you replace that with vegetable oil. So that I've had quite a lot of success with. Gluten-free baking, and I'm talking baking because that's my thing, is more difficult. I have found xanthan gum. If you add xanthan gum to your gluten-free flour, it makes a cake that is darn near as good as the usual thing. So I have found that baking from scratch for gluten-free particularly is more successful than actually buying the free from cakes and things, because none of them are very nice. I haven't found anything particularly that's been very nice, apart from coconut macaroons, not macarons, macaroons. Good old coconut condensed milk made into coconut macaroons. Very, very nice. But they're all going to bring different energies too. So the gluten-free flour is made from various different things, rice flour and other things. I've quite a bit of success baking with chestnut flour. That worked quite well. It's the ready-made free-from articles do seem to be very expensive. So if you can bake it from scratch, that does seem to make it much easier, and it all brings different energies with it as well. Ganesha would love a good modak as well. Tasty, can order. We're all going to be really hungry now, aren't we? Nicola, the Elemental Kingdom, love mead and something sweet. It is about narrowing down what they want. It's butter and milk are a general blanket thing for the Fae world and for Irish gods in particular, but have a bit of a think about who specifically you're working with and ask them as well. But mead and honey and milk, usually pretty good standards. Amanda, I use an old frying pan to burn charcoal incense in the garden. Nice. Keeps everything safely contained. Leave it out permanently so it's cleansed and charged by the elements. Brilliant idea. Brilliant. Yes, I've got a flat stone that I lifted from a beach in Cornwall that I use, and I burn candles and bits of charcoal outside. But an old frying pan, brilliant idea. Brilliant. Claire, I like to have a specific seasonal hand wash with essential oils that I will use before preparing food, a mini ritual. Nice. Ritual is a good word, isn't it? If you have a kitchen altar, and that doesn't have to be anything grand, it could just be a vase on the kitchen windowsill that you kind of do a bit of nod to, or a bit of an offering dish on the kitchen windowsill before you start cooking. Love that idea. Seasonal hand wash, brilliant. And if you don't want to make a hand wash from scratch, you can buy one of the cheaper hand washes and just put a few drops of essential oil in it. Charge that essential oil with your intent and add it to the hand wash. Brilliant idea, Claire. Thank you. Christine, chickpea or gram flour makes great wraps, gluten-free. Yes, I've made very successful tortillas or wraps with gram flour in particular. Yeah, very straightforward to make too. Emma, shop bought bread that's gluten-free is not nice. Yeah, we've done a bit of exploration with gluten-free bread. Most of it's not particularly nice. It's getting better. I think it is getting better. Less like a house brick. Christine, not sure what element represents chickpea flour, but to me it's food that doesn't hurt. Yeah, but it will have the energy. I don't know if chickpeas is in my book. It's nutty chickpea, isn't it? So I'm going with earthy, and I'm going with prosperity and wealth. It's quite comforting too, chickpea, isn't it? It's kind of a comfort food, so I would go with that as well. But it has to work for you. Connect with the energy. Hold the packet of chickpea flour and find out what energy and what connections it represents to you. And my partner's the same with free from. I'm attempting to make a gluten-free sourdough starter as partner isn't keen on the shop gluten-free bread. It is pretty rubbish. I've tried sourdough. I like making bread. I did have a sourdough starter. It was called Boris. I did not have a lot of luck keeping it alive. I have struggled with sourdough, I must. So let us know how you go on with that, Angie. It'll be interesting to see. Claire, certain supermarket that starts with a T, brownies free from, pretty good. If you are going to make a gluten-free cake, then brownies are the easiest thing to make gluten-free. They seem to be the thing that works the best because they don't really need to rise and they're good stodgy, which is what gluten-free generally is. So we have found that brownies are actually probably the easiest thing to make gluten-free. And I think probably the most difficult thing is bread. But each of those alternative flours will have their own particular magical energies to them. So it's about connecting with those ingredients. It doesn't matter whether it's a pot noodle or a fancy artisan loaf of bread. They're going to have magical properties. So it's about connecting with those. But it's also about putting your intent into it. Connect with those ingredients and see what Kitchen Witch energy they have for you, what magical energy they have for you, but also charge them with your intent. So if you've got your cup of coffee in the morning, charge it with positive energy. The coffee bean's going to bring a boost of energy anyway. It's going to bring clarity. It's going to bring focus, but charge it with your intent for the day. As you're stirring it clockwise, put your positive energy in and charge it with your intent for the day. What do you want from the day? Charge your coffee or your tea with it. Christine, if you cut the middle out of an iceberg lettuce and put a burger in it, that works as well as bread and healthier. Yeah, but it's lettuce, Christine. I eat pretty much everything. Not a big fan of lettuce, I must admit. Really not a big. Burgers for me, I must admit, I very rarely eat the bread bun of a burger because they're usually not very nice. I prefer to put a burger in a pita bread because I prefer pita breads. That works better for me. I'm not going to eat the lettuce, Christine. I'm going to be honest with you. Good morning, Jackie. No, we're talking about kitchen witchcraft, Jackie. That is the theme for today, kitchen witchcraft. But we've got on to gluten-free stuff. It's about finding what works for you. But it's also about substitutes as well. It's just like regular magic. If you get a spell and it's got a list of 5 ingredients and you don't have 2 of the ingredients, don't ditch the spell. Think about what you've got and what you can replace them with. And actually, I recommend you do that anyway, because spells in books and on the internet are brilliant. I'm going to say that because, buy the books. They're a good starting point. They give you a good structure to start with. Personalize them. Always personalize them. Change some of the wording a bit so it's more personal to you. Swap 1 or 2 of the ingredients around so they're personal to you. Don't go buying fancy ingredients that have to be shipped from the other side of the world. There's that whole eco thing in it and the expense of it as well. When you've got something in your kitchen cupboard which will do exactly the same job. So think about what you've got around you as well, and think about what you've got to hand. But making those changes to a spell that's been written by someone else will personalize it too. So it will make the spell better for you, more focused for you, and it'll have more of your energy in it as well. Definitely. Emma, when I charge my hazelnut coffee, that sounds very nice. All I want for the rest of the day are hazelnuts or squirrels. Depends what you charge it with. Hazelnuts good. Charge them with the energy that you want for the day. And if that's more hazelnuts, then go for it. Louise, something as simple as a nice salad, cucumber, tomatoes, olives, lemon, and stirring herbs in. That's energizing, cleansing for me. Add paprika for a bit of oomph. But you've got an awful lot of ingredients there that each bring their own energy to the party. So cucumber, very refreshing, but it's releasing, it's purifying. Tomatoes, very much the love apple. So you're bringing that energy to it. Olives are abundance and wealth. Lemon is connected with the moon, so you've got a big punch of feminine energy there, but also cleansing, purifying. But lemon's also very uplifting. And then you add some herbs to that as well, and your paprika for a bit of energy. You've got a really nice magical salad there. Yeah, definitely. Jane, lettuce has mildly sedative properties, so associated with sleep, meditation, astral travel. Yeah, it's also got a fertility energy to it. I'm just saying. Oh, it tastes of nothing, doesn't it? No, it's not. But yes, you are right, Jane. But again, all of these correspondences, the same with magical herbs and all of these ingredients, they have traditional, for want of a better word, connections with them, but it'll be what it means to you. It's not what someone else has written in a book or written on a website. It's what it means to you. And if you've got a family history with that ingredient, or it provokes a memory for you, or if you hate that ingredient, then it's not going to work in the way that you want it to. So swap it out for something that does have the right meaning for you. We're all going to connect with these ingredients differently. Cinnamon is my go-to for success, but you might not think of it like that at all. It might work for you for love instead. It's a fiery one, so it might work for you for a boost of energy. It's got to work for you, and it's got to be personal to you. Otherwise, it's all going to get a bit confused. Jackie, guess what? Bought some mango wurzel. Such a good word. Seeds. Hope I can grow them. Brilliant. Let us know how you get on with those, Jackie. That's such a good word. Christine, my ninja soup maker is my new cauldron. It works with the element of fire through electric and earth from the foods. The time it takes is air, and I have to add the last element of water to make the veg cook. Love being the modern kitchen witch. Yeah, we use a lot of these things, don't we? I've got an electric slow cooker, which is very, very similar sort of thing. Brilliant. It can make me a casserole or pulled pork or anything like that in, less than an hour. Makes the best rice pudding ever. But yeah, it is. You're right. It's electricity is just energy. And when we're working with magic, we're working with energy. So yeah, absolutely. And it is about how you think about it, isn't it? That's perfect. Nicola, if you grow bok choy or buy it in the supermarket, the stem can be replanted and has lovely yellow flowers. There's a few things like that, isn't there? I think celery does the same thing as well, doesn't it? It's clever. It's Mother Nature being very, very clever. But it is about thinking about how you work with things. But at the base of it all is connecting with it, connecting with the energy of all these things and making them work for you. Think about it before you throw a packet out. Think about it while you're doing the shopping. Think about it while you're putting it away. Think about it while you're cooking. Connect with the energy of all these things and see what magical properties they have. It is a huge world to explore that can save you money from the magical ingredient point of view, but can also bring magic into your everyday life. It is, for me, a part of being a witch 24/7, is connecting with all of these things and all the ingredients that I cook with. It's kind of second nature now for me, I guess. So think about your food today going forward. As I say, if you are free tomorrow evening, 6:00, that's the 21st of February, we are having our open Brigantia ritual. Details are on the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook group if you want to follow along with what we're doing, or you could just watch. It's up to you. Open to everyone, streaming live to our YouTube channels. Lots of bits and pieces coming up, the lithomancy workshop and various other things, and Heather's new OM card deck available on the shop as well. So yeah, enjoy I'm going to finish my licorice and mint tea because it's quite nice. Hello. Otherwise, yeah, have a think about your food going forward this week. What you can use, what you can save, what you can work with from a magical point of view, and the containers that they come in. And have a good, delicious week. Thanks, everyone. Take care.